Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers, the program that asks the questions others don't dare to. Andy's got the rundown.
Sam, today we're going to talk to the mayor of Sparks. Tony Armstrong joins us. How is Sparks faring after this legislative session? And what about those budget cuts by the school board? We talked to Ann Loring, who not only sits on the Washoe County School Board, but she's president of the State Association of School Boards. Sam?
Thanks, Andy. And coming up on the pundit panel today, Pat Coward, Mendy Elliott, and Martha Gould. That should be quite a matchup. It's all coming up next on the all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
The Abowed family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
It's America's largest historical district, and it's fun for the entire family. Virginia City is where the West comes alive every day, from train rides to gunslingers. Your gang can explore mines and interesting museums, visit historic saloons, and do some great shopping. Virginia City is the ultimate in family entertainment, and it's very affordable. Come up and stay overnight in our hotels, motels, and RV park. Virginia City, the Wild West at its best.
The biggest risk your company can take.
Well, Barbara, you did very well on your interview.
Hiring employees can help your business get to the next level.
And your resume looks outstanding.
And it can also expose you to corporate crimes and costly lawsuits that can bring your company to its knees.
So, we'd like to offer you a position.
Before you hire another employee, hire the professionals at Employer Links. Call today to get our free CD-ROM, the top 8 risks of hiring employees.
If you own a business and want to maximize your company's potential, join the Retail Association of Nevada. Our membership benefits include the Nevada Retail Network Self-Insured Group, providing workers' compensation coverage that can lower your rates. That savings can go directly to your bottom line. We are an effective pro-business organization that lobbies on behalf of our business members. The Retail Association of Nevada, protecting Nevada businesses for 35 years. Call 882-1700 to see what we can do for your organization.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad, political analyst Ande Engleman on No Holds Barred Political Forum. Now, from the News 4 Broadcast Center, here's Sam Shad.
And welcome back to Nevada Newsmakers. We're joined by the mayor of Sparks, Tony Armstrong, for his first appearance on our program. Welcome.
Mayor, thank you for being here
Andy,
this morning.
Thank you. Sam, thank you.
We are sorry we didn't have you on sooner because we were shocked when the bond issue concerning the fire engines didn't pass in Sparks. What's going on?
Well, you know, those things happen in a community. We worked very, very hard on that, as you know, trying to get the question passed. And it was much higher. The numbers were much higher this time. It lost by 800 and some votes. And the reason that happened, as I believe, is the voter apathy. We only had about 8,000 people in the entire city of Sparks vote, and we have over 33,000 registered voters. So the voter count was down this time.
But doesn't it shock you that you're trying to put a fire station, and the people that most need this fire station are voting against it? Was there just not enough information out there from the city?
Well, Sam, I don't know how to get any more information out there. We're very straightforward with everybody in terms of how desperately needed this fire station is. How
I mean, for example, if somebody had a heart attack and they needed to get the paramedics there, how much longer would it take them to get from the current fire station to the one you've already built?
That's about 12 minutes, depending on the area, and that's assuming the fire station is manned at that point and that they're not out doing some other call. Now, REMSA, on the other hand, may be on the other end of town. REMSA does a wonderful job, the fire department does a wonderful job, but if you get there in 12 minutes or 9 minutes, that person may not live long enough. You may not be able to bring them around.
You know, I think I've just given you your marketing strategy to get the money. Because that's what I tell them.
Have a heart attack, right?
Well, but the potential is there. Certainly there are a lot of people who are of the age category that I think that would be a blazing message, certainly get my attention.
Well, clearly what the vote did is it showed that there are a lot of people who didn't want higher taxes, and I think those are the people who showed up to vote, and the others stayed home, and the people who stayed home are the ones who are going to end up paying for it probably.
Andy, I think part of the problem is the legislative session was going on at the same time, obviously, and this was our last June election, as you know, which is typically very low in terms of voter turnout. When you're having a session at the legislature, you don't know what's going to happen to your taxes. But if you have an opportunity to vote on something in the city, as an example, you think about it and you have the power to make that decision, as opposed to no power really in the legislature when you have all those legislators down there making decisions for you.
Excuse me. Mayor, I wanted to ask you about a proposal that's before the council right now pertaining to the baskets of retail stores and so forth. You're talking about a new ordinance that will put quite a big hefty fine on them if you have to go pick up the basket somewhere.
These are the shopping carts?
Yeah, shopping carts.
Oh, the shopping carts, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the city attorney is going to put something together, and I'm not sure what that's going to be in terms of enforcement. It's a very, very serious problem in Sparks. All you have to do is drive down Vista and Sparks Boulevard and McCarran, Crater Way and Pyramid and those streets, actually Audi Boulevard too. What happens is people take the basket, they put the groceries in it. These are people who probably don't drive, so they use the basket to go home. And they take the groceries, put them in their house, take it down to the corner, which is considered no man's land, I guess. It belongs to the city or it belongs to somebody, and the baskets just kind of accumulate. And we had one complaint, the lady sent us pictures actually, and I went over and took a look at it on a Sunday morning. I couldn't believe it. There was 22 or 24
Well, that's not
carts.
the store's fault.
Really, it isn't. Who's guiding, who's watching those carts? Is there anything saying that you can't?
So what you want is people to have to call a cab to get their groceries home?
No, I think that there's due diligence on both sides in terms of somebody ought to be watching those carts and somebody ought not be taking those carts off that property.
Andy, I'm a little surprised at you that you would think that way. I mean, certainly if somebody's walking off the parking lot from a shopping center with their cart, they're stealing the cart.
That's right.
It's just, there's no two ways about it. I mean, you've got to put the majority of force on that.
No, I agree with that, but I just don't think the store ought to be fined because somebody steals from them.
Well, that's a very good point. You know, and most people who take those carts don't look at it as stealing. I mean, they just need some help in getting these things home. So some of the stores I know now are working, I know Scolari's is. I talked to Ron Smith about it, and they're going to be offering at cost these little baskets that you can put your groceries in and you can take it home and then you can bring it back the next day.
That's a good idea.
You know, what you need is GPSs on all of those baskets, and then you can find them really easily. You just hired a new downtown redevelopment director. What chances do you give of having success this time when so many times before it has failed? Is there a better environment for redevelopment, do you think?
Yes, there absolutely is. We have a wonderful, of course, Chairman Mike Kerrigan. You know, he's doing a wonderful job.
I'm giving you the 30-second wrap here.
Okay, and Gabriel Ornelas is doing a wonderful job down there. Monday night, we will be picking the person who's going to do the project. So we don't know who it is, but we'll find out Monday night.
And on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best chance of having a thriving downtown, where do you think you're going to be a year from now?
12.
Tony Armstrong, Mayor of Sparks. He survived the show. We'll be back right after this timeout.
Interest rates remain at all-time historic lows. Now's a great time to purchase or refinance in the Northern Nevada area. Hi, I'm Valerie Hedlund, Operations Manager of CTX Mortgage. We pride ourselves in giving face-to-face service, local processing, local underwriting, immediate loan approvals in a private and professional office setting. We at CTX choose to do business differently. This is our local team of processors and operations staff that are dedicated to providing you the highest level of service. Please call any of the loan officers on our CTX team.
Would you like to savor a Trento pork chop? Or maybe pasta rags with grilled chicken? Hugo's Tuscan Grill at DeAndrea is a celebration of color, flavor, and freshness. Each dish is created from natural, wholesome foods that is delicious and nutritious. Hugo's is a comfortable restaurant with breathtaking city views. If you enjoy great food and good company, visit us here at Hugo's. It's the best that dining can be. 2900 South DeAndrea Parkway in Sparks.
Welcome to Sushi Club, best sushi in town. The Sushi Club in Independence Square used the best quality products. The sushi is dynamite, and the service is just wonderful.
The Sushi Club is bigger and better. We have 11 sushi chefs on staff, and the service is great.
All your friends will tell you that Sushi Club is the best place for the best sushi.
Come join us for lunch or dinner.
The Sushi Club, 294 East Moana Lane in the Independence Square.
Now that's great sushi.
Big Apple Pizza, best pizza in Nevada, take one.
Today we're making homemade meatballs for a meatball parm. You like cheesesteak? I think you're like in South Philly right now. It's the best cheese ever made. Now that's how a Philly cheesesteak's supposed to look.
And here's little Cole.
This is authentic. We'll throw some pepperoni in here. Not gonna be shy about it. Yeah, I bet you guys didn't know I could do that. Don't skimp on the toppings. Authentic as it gets. Big Apple Pizza and Subs on the corner of Bering and McCarran. A New Jersey guy who knows how to make an East Coast pizza.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're joined by Ann Loring, and she is on the board of the, I should say the Washoe County School Board here. And if I can get that out, we can get into the interview here.
And president of the Nevada Association of School Boards also.
That's right.
So
and thank you, Andy. Thank you, Sam. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, I hope you feel that way at the end of this.
I'm sure I will.
I'm happy with some of the work that the board has done recently.
Right,
okay.
right. In the budget, I want to talk about Washoe County first, then we can talk about Elko and some of the other counties in the state.
Sure.
But in the Washoe County school budget, when you did your cuts after the legislature finished and so
Yes.
forth, you cut $1 million from the textbooks and left $250,000 for out-of-state travel. And as a taxpayer, I don't understand that.
Well, and that's a good question. It's a fair question. We had a substantial textbook budget, and the $1 million in cuts would not affect the key piece that we needed to buy this year, which is the last of our math textbooks for our new math series that we started to adopt 2 years ago. On the out-of-state travel budget, that is what our administrators and teachers use for professional development, to travel around the country, find out what other school districts are doing that are even being more successful, so that we can steal the best ideas that are out there. That's an investment in professional development.
Excuse me, but you couldn't pick those up through computer?
Oh, no, no. The benefit of being able to interact with other districts when you are at meetings and conferences is something that technology will never be able to replace, that human contact. And so really, we kept intact half of that budget. It took a 50% hit, so there will be substantially fewer opportunities for professional development for our teachers out of state. And we were able to buy the textbooks that we need to finish our math adoption.
Yeah. All right, now will
in
all
addition,
the children be able to have textbooks that they can bring home?
Absolutely. When we
All the
buy
children
a
in Washoe
textbook
County?
adoption, we buy a book for every child in the 4 core subjects, English, math, science, and social studies. Now, we do have some teachers who, especially in maybe science, might have a textbook set, a classroom set that they like to use in the classroom, and then maybe use other materials that they send home with the students, and that's okay too. But yes, we buy textbooks for all of our students, and this will not impact it. Now, in addition, the legislature provided this year $50 per student additional for textbooks, software for computers, and other classroom supplies. And so that will also help a great deal. But the hard reality is that we still had to cut, even though we had an increase in our budget. And we tried to do our very best to keep it away from the core subjects, which are our mission for our students, and to keep it away from the classroom.
What are you looking at as the biggest problems facing the school district in the next 2 years?
I think probably 2. One is growth in our population, and how we're going to deal with growth when our budgets are not keeping up with it. And in addition, the challenge of No Child Left Behind, which is the new federal legislation, which is right on target. It says that every child needs to meet the standards that have been set by our state in the core academic subjects. But that's a huge challenge, especially as our population in this state is changing. We're getting more and more students here in our district who come to us who don't speak English as their first language, children in poverty, and the challenge is going to be helping all of those children get to higher standards too. And that's where we still need money and help from the state. The governor had put in his budget an attempt to do full-day kindergarten for at-risk kids, and that around the country we're hearing is hugely beneficial. But in this year, with the financial conditions the way they were, the state had to cut that. That was still in the superintendent's invest plan for what the superintendents told the governor and the legislature they need to improve education in Nevada. So we'll be looking at that in the next session. But those are the two big challenges.
One of the things that I've spoken about many times on this program is what the Washoe County School District did to get the message out 2 bonds ago when they were rejected for the first bond, and then they had to work very hard over the next couple of years to prove to the public that they had tried every single method they could, and that wasn't enough, and that they needed to pass these bonds. And then you've now had 2 successful bonds.
Yes.
What can you do to be able to get that message out so that the next time we have a legislative session, that the legislators truly understand the need, not just in Washoe County, but across the state, for all these unfunded mandates?
Well, I think this year was a watershed year for school districts in the state. All 17 district superintendents in our state got together to respond to the question that the governor and the legislature put to them 2 years ago. What do you need to improve student achievement in Nevada? And they put together the plan called the Invest Plan, which laid out what they would need and the cost. And it's a huge cost. We knew that it would not happen in the first session or maybe even 2 sessions, but it's a long-range plan for what is needed to improve education in Nevada. All 17 school boards across the state, 107 elected school board members, supported that plan and worked together at the legislature. And as a result, about 1/3 of what was requested in that plan came out of the legislature in what was a terribly challenging legislative year. What we, the school boards and the superintendents, feel is that we need to keep working together, talking with our constituents as we have done here in Washoe County with the town hall meetings that were part of our budget, and keeping our communities aware of what the needs are, what the challenges are, and what we're doing to react to those needs.
Thank you very much for being here, Anne Lorraine. Please come back again and visit us, will you?
It's a pleasure.
We'll be back on Nevada Newsmakers with the Pundits after this time out.
Before you head to Carson, take care of yourself with a visit to Tamarack Junction. Catch a hot cup of coffee and the morning news on one of our 32 TVs and enjoy the best food in South Reno. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
The Aboud family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Today's lesson, another reason to take the Gold Rush Club Card Challenge. With the Gold Rush Card, you really have 3 cards in one. Use your cash back. You still keep your comps and drawing tickets. Use your comps. You still keep your cash and drawing tickets. And with your drawing tickets, you could win thousands in cold hard cash every week. And still keep your cash back and comps. Does your club add up? Graduate to the Gold Rush Players Club. It's the smart thing to do. The Gold Dust West, south on Keystone, east on 4th.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo free checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Make your daily commute easy with breakfast or lunch at the Tamarack Junction. Enjoy daily specials, super fast service, and South Reno's freshest morning meals. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers. Would you pay attention to the program
sorry.
here? We're rolling on here. We're at the pundit panel section. We're joined by Martha Gould, Pat Coward, and Mendy Elliott. Pleasure to have all of you here. Did you want to explain this about this investment thing for the schools?
Yeah, the investment program is what the superintendents brought this session, and all of you may be aware of it. I don't know whether or not the viewers are. But it had a huge price tag on it. If they come back next session, isn't that going to mean more taxes?
Yes, I think so.
Probably. But let's go back to something. This investment program is very important. It is long-range, thoughtful planning. And what it has done has put into place a program that will allow, over a period of time, for the state of Nevada's education to catch up.
Mendy, I'm sorry, go
Martha.
ahead, Pat.
Martha, one thing I wanted to, I understand that. I think everybody understands that, but there's so much money you can take out of the economy at one time and move it from the private sector into the public sector. I think that has got to have over time. I think funding education at the national average is something we should do. I think everyone cares about education, but I think it comes down to how fast can you do it. I think people have to have patience. You just can't go lickety-split down the road and do that.
But remember, the school districts in this state are mandated at the federal level to meet the No Child Left Behind.
Very
if we don't have the money to do that, then this state is going to be in trouble.
Well, and the feds were supposed to supply us
I was
with
going to
some
say,
money.
Nickleby has some money. Well, even John Ensign stood up there and he says he's bringing $75 additional million. You were there that night, talking about to support the Nickleby. I'm not disagreeing. I mean, I agree with Pat. I think that education is very important. My company believes in education. Education is first and foremost for what we support. From a corporate philanthropy initiative.
And actually, your company is a good corporate neighbor when it comes to education.
And that would be Wells Fargo, who happens to be one of the sponsors of this
program.
We want to raise that issue and put that right on the table.
I think one thing, you have to let the tax package settle in a little bit, and let's see where we go. There's a lot of talk about potential holes in the budget. When we come forward, you have the estate tax going away. I remember what the superintendents wanted to do was a very large number. I understand the education agenda. I understand the needs in Clark County as well as up here. And we do. We have a lot of work to do. It's like Moose Arbery said, we have a lot of catching up. But I think what you got to do is you got to we've just increased the budget over 30%. And
well,
I think
and
you
not
have
only
to
that,
allow
Pat, but
that
I
to
mean,
settle in a
I'm
little
hearing
bit.
bond issue from the Washoe County School District because the expanding number of students coming into the area. We're going to need to build more schools. This is just going to be an ongoing process. I don't think people really understand until they're getting their property tax bills just how much their local taxes went up over the last year. And they're going to see now these state taxes going into effect.
You got state and you got local, and you got to have a balance between all of these things.
That's
you know, there's talk about, again, looking at maybe next session, taking part of the growth of the ad valorem that local government has and taking that away to the state. That will be very, very dangerous to local government.
Well, especially when the school district is already cutting money. Obviously, they're not getting it from the county.
Yeah, and obviously, you know, you had Douglas County, which didn't need the state dollars as much because they used more of their ad valorem taxes for the school district. Why doesn't Washoe County use more of its money for the school district?
Well, that might be a very good question to ask someone from Washoe County.
And we will have them on here. Mendy, how did you feel that the banking industry fared at the end of the legislative session? You're paying a percentage tax, plus you're paying a $7,000 per branch. Are we going to see less branches opening up in Nevada because of that?
I can only speak for what we're doing. We are assessing right now the growth in the state. In fact, I'll be honest with you, it's a public announcement. My company made a decision not to move some business here based on the legislative session. It's going to another state, and that was very, for me personally, it was something that I was disappointed in because, of course, you always want to see your company continue to grow and jobs, and unfortunately, it's.
What was the economic hurt to Nevada from that?
You know, we haven't really done an assessment, but I know that it was, potential of a substantial amount of jobs would have been here.
May I ask you, and tell me to mind my own business if I'm asking for a secret company policy, but what exactly was it that said to Wells Fargo, we don't want to move that bit of business, we were going to move to Nevada, we're going to move it somewhere else? What part of the economic situation?
Well, I think it was the entire unsettledness in the legislative session, the the fact that, I mean, our analysts were listening to all of the testimony, and what we heard was, and Pat, you down there representing EDON, that basically they don't want business here to some degree. It was businesses, we're not paying enough, they need to pay more, and so they needed to go somewhere where there was actually, where it was actually stable.
Did you get
that
that more from the legislators?
Where we were welcome, where we were welcome.
That's, that stable is the key word.
Yeah. I think one of the things
stable
that
taxes, that's the key word.
I have to admire Chuck Alvey. What he is looking at doing is putting a very positive spin on things.
Absolutely.
There are some benefits that did come out of the session. Number one, businesses moving here do want stabilization. They want predictability on taxes.
Absolutely, and that's
but more
paramount.
importantly, they want an educated workforce. And we are educating or funding more into education. So those are some very positive things from economic development. There's no two ways when you look at financial, and that's a very big part of economic development, especially in the southern part of the state with the backroom operations. That will hurt the economic development, putting a specific tax on financial institutions, on recruiting those kind of businesses.
And if we're losing jobs, that we're hurting the economy.
Well, that's it. Remember what I said when we were on the show
5 seconds.
before?
Martha?
Act in haste, repent at leisure.
You know, we're going to have a plaque made on that. We'll be back on Nevada Newsmakers right after this timeout.
Big Apple Pizza, best pizza in Nevada, take one.
Today we're here, we're making homemade meatballs for a meatball parm. You like cheesesteak? I think you're like in South Philly right now. It's the best cheese ever made. Now that's how a Philly cheesesteak's supposed to look.
And here's little Cole.
This is authentic. We'll throw some pepperoni in here. Not gonna be shy about it. Yeah, I bet you guys didn't know I could do that. Don't skimp on the toppings. Authentic as it gets. Big Apple Pizza and Subs on the corner of Bering and McCarran, a New Jersey guy who knows how to make an East Coast pizza.
Would you like to savor a Trento pork chop? Or maybe pasta rags with grilled chicken? Hugo's Tuscan Grill at D'Andrea is a celebration of color, flavor, and freshness. Each dish is created from natural, wholesome foods that is delicious and nutritious. Hugo's is a comfortable restaurant with breathtaking city views. If you enjoy great food and good company, visit us here at Hugo's. It's the best that dining can be. 2900 South D'Andrea Parkway in Sparks.
It's America's largest historical district, and it's fun for the entire family. Virginia City is where the West comes alive every day, from train rides to gunslingers. Your gang can explore mines and interesting museums, visit historic saloons, and do some great shopping. Virginia City is the ultimate in family entertainment, and it's very affordable. Come up and stay overnight in our hotels, motels, and RV park. Virginia City, the Wild West at its best.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
Well, one of the first major negative consequences of the legislature with Wells Fargo not bringing the rest of their operation to Nevada.
You know, the legislators just wouldn't listen.
Tomorrow, health care in Washoe County. We'll see you.